Hey, Maya and Gal here. Welcome to the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. And today we have a special guest with us, Birgit Heidenreich. Birgit has a mission to empower fellow freelancers to establish their businesses abroad, and she brings a wealth of experience and expertise to the table. We're excited to have her here to share her insights and guidance in this exciting podcast episode. Get ready to be inspired. We invite you to grab your coffee and notebook and give a big loving welcome to Birgit. Hi, Birgit. Thank you so much for being here with us on the Coffee Talkie Show.
Thanks for the invite. I'm really excited being here.
Oh, we're super happy. And we'll dive straight into it. Could you tell us a little bit about your personal journey and what led you to focus on empowering freelancers to establish their businesses abroad?
Oh, wow, that's a long story, but I try to keep it short. Basically, I'm the child of expats, but back in that time, I believe nobody called them expats. They were just simple immigrants. So that's why I think that I have an understanding about how it feels when you move abroad, when you are lost in a different culture, in a different country. And also, I have been an expat myself. So that's the reason why I focus on expats. How it came that I support freelancers is another story. I worked in a corporate. I believe everybody finish university and then you work in a corporate, or nearly everybody does. And I had a quite cool career there, and I could continue. But I understood that that's not my way. That's not my passion. And I decided to join the company of my mom. So in the beginning, it was a consulting company as well. We were consulting small, mid-sized companies, and it was really, really cool. I really liked the job. I learned a lot. I gained a lot of experience, but it was not mine. It was not me. It was not what I wanted, and it was not my ideal client. And so on networking events, I always met cool people. They had really good ideas. They were passionate about offering their services to others, but they struggled. They didn't know how to set up a really good strategy that they stand out in their industry, or they were just struggling with all the paperwork, bureaucracy, and all these admin things. And so, yeah, that was the point where I said, okay, now I found what I want to do. I want to support freelancers like I am myself. I want that others succeed, that we all fit together, that all these different knowledges work hand in hand. And so, yeah, that's how I started to support freelancers. And in Munich, we do have a really big community of expats. We do have a lot of big companies hiring people from all over the world. And so, as in other countries, it's quite common being a freelancer. Nearly everybody wanted to do something on the side, or said like, yeah, now I'm here for 3 4 years. I understand that this is the country I want to stay, and now I want to do something for myself. So in the same situation that I have been, and or it's a spouse, right? So my partner is here and got a really cool job, and I already did have a job abroad. I was working as a freelancer, or now I want to. And could you offer your service also in English? Because in the beginning, I was offering my services in German. And yeah, so everything together, like the experience of a business consultant, my personal experience as the child of expats and an expat myself in the past, and this kind of need and this kind of feeling that there is a community out there, they really need it and they really want it, led me to the decision to focus on that. And I'm really, really grateful that I switched around 6 years ago, and keep counting.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. And I love that you bring your personal experience and your own knowledge to those people that are really in need. We see a lot of people moving abroad and are in a career crisis. They don't know what to do. And being a freelancer can be a really great solution for a lot of them. only in my close surrounding, I have about 5 friends that have become freelancers in the past year. Like, this is a thing because both with digital nomad being so common right now, like it wasn't a thing 5 years ago. And like today, every second person is like, "Ooh, maybe I should try freelancing." And this teleworking thing that happened during COVID and everything like brought this freelance era to be bigger than it used to be. Like we've been freelancers for years, like but now I feel like it's a thing, and especially for those who are moving abroad, whether you moved with a spouse, with by yourself, things like that, it is becoming super common.
Definitely. I believe that this is the future, that more people will realize that this kind of lifestyle brings you a lot of freedom and flexibility. I think when we are just talking about the positive things, because there are also negative, but let's talk about the good things first. I think that as a freelancer, first of all, you can nearly live everywhere. That's, I think, one point. You don't have to search for a new job. You just take your business and yeah, establish it somewhere else if needed. And what I really like is that you are flexible, that you can join the community that you feel comfortable with, that you can work with the people that you really want to work with, that you can offer exactly the services that you like. Because when you are employed, there is always something that you need to do that you really don't enjoy, or you need to work with people you do not like, but that's the client your company got, so that's yours now, right? And I think that's a really really big benefit. And also you have more flexibility. I don't want to say that you work less. I am not one of these people telling everybody as a freelancer you work just 3 hours a day, maybe a week, and that's it. I think that's not realistic, and to them who made it, congratulations, but that's not the norm. But you are more flexible. So if you feel that you want to work early in the morning, that's fine. And if you stop at 10 and just continue at 4 p.m., nobody cares normally, right? And I think that makes it better to have a work life balance that fits your personal lifestyle and your personal needs. You can decide on a Monday spontaneously to do something because there's something going on you want, or just you don't feel that good. And yeah, if you have a better work life balance and more flexibility, that gives you more peace and therefore more, yeah, inner health, right? That's really important.
I love that you mentioned flexibility. It's not you work less, but you're more flexible. I also think it brings you some kind of control. You know what clients you want to work with, you know your hours, you're in control. And when you move abroad and there are so many things that are not in your out of your they're all out of your control. Everything is not yours to control. So the little bits of control that you can have can be really beneficial for your own well-being. Yeah, and what you mentioned about flexibility is interesting because yes, let's face it, as a freelance, if you're working 3 hours a week, you've done something good, and please teach us about it because this is not our case. But I love that one of the things that happens to me is the fact that compared to the time that I worked in advertising, now I can decide that on a Tuesday afternoon, I spend an hour talking to a friend over the phone. And I will continue working later. It's not that I'm working less, but I can prioritize my time based on other things that are important to me, and it's not only work 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 based on someone else's priorities that is usually your boss, right? You are in charge of your own time. And if we talk about time, I see a lot of my friends that are working as freelancers finding solutions compared to time zones. So they will continue working for companies in the US, and this way, like they will work early mornings or late evenings, but still have time then to enjoy a city like Paris and not feel like, hey, I moved to Paris, but I'm never going out, never seeing the city because I'm working 12 hours a day.
So it's about what you prioritize as a lifestyle and how you accommodate it within your work.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It's exactly what you said. It doesn't mean that you work less. You work just different. To be honest, I think when you set out as a freelancer, you will work more than in the corporate. That's the brutal reality, and especially if you don't have clients. So people always believe, oh, I don't have a project going on. So what should I do? Hell, now it's time to move because you want to change that. So you have to do many things. You have to sit down. You need to think on your strategy. You need to create a marketing strategy to make more clients, to get more contacts, or create a new product, a new service, a new whatever. So that requires all of your attention. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have a client, that this means you can go to the park, to the beach, to whatsoever, right?
Absolutely. It doesn't mean you're working less, just
Just
different.
different. Usually we work more, but it's a drive, right?
Yeah.
Because when you become your own boss, whether it's you have a company or you're a freelance and you're doing gigs and you have when it's you have this drive to say, "Ooh, I want to do more because I want to get more because I want to make it more because like it's all like that." So
This is important
this
to
is
me.
important to me. It's not I'm working for someone else. It's like if it's going to succeed, it's mine. If it's going to fail, it's mine too. So better make it a success.
So tell us from your experience working with freelancer, how important it is for those freelancers that are moving abroad to understand the local culture, the local work ethics, and to immerse themselves in the local community.
It's the key to success. If you don't understand the culture and the business behaviors, it will be really hard for you to get new clients. And I believe even when you already do have a business and you're just moving, I still feel that it's important that you also do have local clients. Because it's way more complicated to keep that relationship on a distance than having people that you can interact personally on a networking event or something like this. And therefore, it's important that you understand the business culture and maybe also speak some words of the language. I know it's hard learning a new language, but definitely it will pay off. People will see that you dedicate your time, that you really respect them, their country, their culture, if you try to learn some things and if you adapt to their behaviors.
I can totally agree with that. And I think it's so important to understand the culture where you live because it impacts the clients that you're going to get, whether you're working with private clients or with businesses. It will be different than the country that you're coming from, and you need to know how to anticipate things. How is it going to work? Use the local language. Even if they speak English, this is a must. Like, you need at least to be able to say hello and some basic words because you're living in their country right now, and if you want to work with them, that's the bare minimum of effort you need to do.
Yeah, and some people might think, "Oh, I'm just, taking my business to a new place. What difference could it be?" But actually, in different parts of the world, people are working in a different way, and something that are so obvious to you in your work ethics are so different in another country. Something that you're used to do every day in your home country might be considered as rude, for example, if you do them in another country. So you must understand, and for that you must ask, and you must try, and you must fail sometime and make mistakes, and that's okay. That's the way to learn. But don't react that, oh my god, I made a mistake, I'm done, I'm not doing it, never again. Like, okay, I made a mistake, I might lose some clients this way, but now I know this is how we learn.
Yeah. And there's I have so many
Yeah, I
examples
know.
through my
I
head. Like
know, I know.
my head goes like so many examples, but I want to give you one that you might relate to is I'm a coach. I'm a positive psychology coach. And when I started my coaching freelance business back in Israel, I remember posting one post that I said like, "Hey, I'm looking for my next 5 clients and who's interested?" And I don't know if you remember, I
I
gave you a call
remember.
like 10 minutes later. I was like, in 10 minutes, I had like 100 people sending me messages. I freaked out. I deleted the post. I was like so overwhelmed. There are so many people interested. I was like, I'm not going to be able to take all of those. What am I doing? And then years later, 5 years later, I'm a more established coach. I know what I do, more confident, wrote a post in France, be like on one of the Facebook groups when I arrived here. And I was like, hey, Nana, I'm looking for my next 5 clients. Zero, no messages. And I was like, what? And
Yeah.
then like 2 weeks later, I post something different, zero messages. And 2 weeks later, zero messages. And I was like, okay, now I need to understand something because this is not about me. And I had to start asking around what's until I realized that coaching in French is not necessarily the terms that they are using. It's not necessarily the thing that they are French people are going through. Like, and I needed to figure it out based on the local things. And it's not something that I could realize based on my own past experiences. I needed to ask.
And it's so easy to take this, personally. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. I have no clients. And sometimes there's simply the reason is that you don't understand how to put yourself out there in order for the local clients understand what you're doing and get to you and reach out to you. So this is where just ask local people how to do that, how to reach out.
Yeah, and also maybe the business strategy needs adjustment. So even that you are still offering the same service, you might solve a different problem or simply the approach is in a different way. And so that's what I do with my clients, that we always go through that in case they already do run a business, just to see what do we need to change, what do we need to adjust, how is it going there, what is important to the people, what do they need, how do they want to get approached, how do they want to get in contact with you. In Germany, for example, all is about trust. And trust is nothing that you can gain with one simple post. No, it's like, who's that person? Is that a German company? Are they registered in Germany? How long do they exist? Do they have testimonials? Do they have videos? Do they have proof of what they're doing? Is really legit, serious. And then still it's just like, oh yeah, maybe I can give it a try. I will join a free event. I will have a look at a freebie, a download for $5 or whatever, and just keep it slowly. And that's something so different to other countries, other cultures, where people just say, yeah, I really like her. I like her vibe. I like her explanation. I like how she's acting. I saw some videos from her, and that's exactly what I need. No, that's not in every country. And that's why it's important to understand that you really need to go through the complete business strategy. Also, um, let's say, how do you gain money? How do you make money? In some countries, you can have a business model that works on memberships and on a long term. So people are easily to convince on a 12, 24 months membership. In other countries, it's just like, no, 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 one by one. I need to have the flexibility that I can go out of that if I don't like it, if I don't need it, or if I simply cannot afford it anymore. And so all these things together make the business strategy, and maybe it needs to get adjustment at all the pieces or just small, but you will need to figure it out, and you will need to talk to somebody who understands that. Need to ask questions. Yeah.
Oh, it's spot on because there are so many things to consider, and actually brings you to my next question, which is legal and administration, which is a big thing that is involved in opening a business and being a freelancer, and it changes so much between different countries. What would you say freelancers should consider or keep in mind when it comes to legal and administration stuff?
Huh. First of all, you need to figure out how to work legally in the new country. I think that's most important, because if you don't have the foundation, what are we talking about? So that's just pointless. But also things like taxation, how to set up a business, in which order. So is it okay just to give it a try and register later on? Or do I first need to register and then start offering my services? And also regarding contracts and agreements between you and your clients, between you and the service partners or collaboration partners. So definitely, I would suggest to get some experts on the side, just to ensure that you are good to go, that that you can do whatever you want to do, and that you do it in the right way. Because if you don't have this as your foundation, you can have the best product, but you will not succeed, or you will be in a really big trouble. And I don't know if it's that what you want. You're moving abroad, so you are in a different country. It's not yours. Maybe it's not your language. And then you have to deal with all these authorities. I don't know. I think there are different things they make more fun, right? They're more interesting.
Absolutely. And this is the place where you ask for help from people that know what they're doing, from experts. There are so many experts out there. You just need to find the one that you trust, the one that you like, what they're doing, and ask for their advice, professional advice. This is no joke. You don't want to mess out with some legal stuff and, forget to pay your taxes because you didn't know, or forget to do a contract with a client because you didn't know how to do that, and then get in trouble later. You don't want to be in this place. So just ask for help, pay what you need to pay, and this will save you a lot of time, energy, headaches, and
And I will add to this that it's okay that you don't know. Like, it's a different language, it's a different system, it's different processes. It's so different from each and every country. It's okay that you don't know. It doesn't make you a better or worse freelancer. It doesn't make you a better or worse person. It just makes that it's different. And if you are just willing to raise your hand and be like, hey, I don't know, hey, who knows that can give me some advice, actually provide me the services that I need so I make it right. And also, I'll say it's okay if you make mistakes because it's part of your learning curve. We all make mistakes. We sometimes learn from the worst mistakes that we make, but again, we this is how we learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I want to put also on the table is that the biggest problem you have is not that you're making a mistake. The biggest problem is that you assume that you already do know something. Don't assume anything. Assumptions, they are your enemy, because this is the pitfall. You believe that you already do know the one or the other thing, so you will not even consider to ask. But then you take your decisions based on this assumption. And to be honest, the assumption is just wrong. So the decision you take is based on a wrong assumption. That doesn't lead to success. So there are no stupid questions, there are no unnecessary questions. And as you said, it's okay to ask for help. It's not your country, it's maybe not your language. So just invest the money and the time and go through all the things, and don't assume and don't say, oh yeah, no, we can skip that, I already know that. Let's focus on the other things I do have on my list. If somebody tries to explain you something, you better listen, because there's a reason why people mean that or think that they need to mention something. So just listen and don't assume that you know it.
Yeah. One thing that I think a lot of freelancers and a lot of independent worker in general are confusing at some point is that we think so much about our brand, our personal identity. Ooh, I need a logo, I need a website. And we think about all those things before asking ourselves, how do I work legally here? How do I do this okay? Like what do I need to do to actually be legit in the country? Yay, I have a logo. But yeah, so change the priorities. You can run a business without a
A
logo.
logo.
You cannot run a business if you're not legal. So find a solution. Put the right place, the things in the right order.
Well, you could, but it's not recommended.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I believe it's also human being. We don't want to deal with these kind of things. It's not comfortable. It's really, it's maybe scary. It is. It is definitely scary. When we are talking about that you don't know if you qualify for a visa, that's nothing that you are just like, oh yeah, let's go. See if it doesn't work, we're going somewhere else, right? Because there is a reason why we want to move to this country. So I understand that this is not something you are really excited about. But as you said, you can live without the logo, but you cannot live without the residency. And so that's a thing. And but it's normal that we try to avoid these kind of complicated things, especially if it's a new country, if we don't speak the language. We don't want to deal with that. And there are some stupid things also in yeah, in other countries, that in the beginning they're treating foreigners not really welcoming. It's not that they're just saying open arms and here we go and we are here to support you. No, they are not. And sometimes they are not, because they really try to filter. If you take it serious, it's a filter. But also regarding not speaking English, I hear that so many times that people are complaining and saying like, hey, I went to this office and they just reject talking in English to me, but I'm pretty sure they do speak English. The thing is that it depends on the country, but they are not allowed to guide you in a different language than the language of the country. That's the legal language, and that's what they have to talk. They maybe can give you some hints, but they cannot have the full conversation in another language. It just doesn't work. And so that also makes it more complicated, because you just feel that they don't want that you succeed, but at the end they are just following the rules.
Absolutely. This is where mindset comes in very handy. And you can check out any other episode that we recorded on this podcast. We talk a lot about mindset and how important it is to know what's the reason you're moving to this specific country, what's the reason you're there, what assets do you have within you to help you deal with an officer that doesn't speak English or that you don't understand, and that you feel that everything is against you. Let me tell you something. It's not against you. It's not. So don't take it personally. But yeah, that's where mindset is a big game changer.
Yeah, and another thing that we always say is how you approach a situation. If you come all like self-doubt and in fearful and or aggressive, sometimes you come with like, I know how to do things and I want them to do this way, it doesn't work. So when you come with the right approach to the different officers, to the different systems, to the different places, to the different experts, come with a smile. It
Say
will
hello
say hello, start with
in the
this,
local language.
learn the few couple of words, and then find a way to make it work for you and the system. There's always an option, but it's up to how you approach to a situation.
So, could you give us maybe some tips or advices, practical tips and advices for people that are freelancers, and things that they should prioritize when considering a transition to living abroad and working abroad as freelancers?
We were already talking about the legal aspect, so I think that's the foundation. What is also really important that you consider having some savings that will give you peace, and you will need peace. Nothing is more stressful than having the pressure that you really need to make money in the first moment. You need to understand that when you are moving, that things work in a different way. So maybe you expect to get all the legal stuff done in the first 3 weeks. What are you going to do if it takes 3 months?
Or a year?
That's why I believe it's so important that you do have savings, to be prepared that things take longer than expected, or also that you need longer to establish in the market. At the end, that's really brutal, but nobody's waiting for you and your services. It's already out there. So people do have problems, and there are people they are solving these problems. So it's not that everybody's just waiting for you and saying, clapping in the hands and saying, like, finally, she arrives. And now I can solve my problems. And so, what I wanted to say is that maybe your solution is better than the solution that is already out there, but people first need to understand. And what I said, they want to get to know you. You need to have more time to establish. You need to have this kind of peace that there is enough money that you can settle down, get your things in order, and yeah, just get your ducks in a row, and then see how it goes. And if you have to deal with all that, and on the side then you need to make money, that's just not what you want. That's not ideal. um, I would also recommend to start networking even before you move. I think that is really, really important too. Now there's so many online events. I'm hosting, for example, a monthly networking event for people. They want to come to Germany, but also we do have people from other countries. It's really, really cool. We have people from Chile. We have guys from Dubai, or from the US joining us, and it's important that you create your network, that when you arrive that you already do know some people, and that you understand the business culture, because interacting with the people in the country you want to move to gives you a sort of first feeling. So I think that's also really important, that you do have these kind of things. um, what else? What I already said, you need to adjust your business model. If you don't have one, get yourself one. If you want to set out, just don't believe that, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. That doesn't mean that anybody wants to book you, because you really need to be the solution to an existing problem that somebody would consider working with you. But there are more things, as I already said. How do you make money? With whom do you need to work, or do you want to collaborate to get the clients? And what's the marketing strategy behind that? So all that needs to be in place. And yeah, when you already run a business, just ensure that it works in a new market. I think that's the most important things, but there are so many more. So yeah, we could fill a full podcast series, I believe, about that.
Oh, yeah. There are so many things to take care of, and you touched upon a couple of super important ones. So I hope you listened to this and you took notes of everything that Birgit just mentioned, because those things will make you a difference if you create a freelance gig abroad and you want to do it right. You want to do it in a good way. And I think we will add to this as a tip, because we mentioned it. You need to feel good and confident and less stress and less overwhelmed. And for that, you need to take care of yourself in addition to all the things that you are taking care of within your business and within your move abroad in it as its own. Like, you move to a different country, there's a lot of things to take care of. But if you don't take care of yourself within this move, of your own well-being, of your own mental health, well, it's going to be harder. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's also the roller coaster. I think that's it's okay to, like you already said, it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes, but be prepared that there is an up and down, that you will have some setbacks. You also will have some success feelings. Definitely, yeah, you will succeed, but yeah, there are setbacks, and just be okay with that. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be sad one day, or just to feel, oh, that was not the best idea, that was not a smart decision to move here. At the end you will feel okay, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, in case you don't, that's also okay, right? It's at least you gave it a try, you did. It's better to try and understand that you don't like it this way, and then to find a better solution for yourself, than just having always dreams and yeah, imaginations in your mind, and you don't try, because this is definitely something you will regret.
Absolutely.
So, Birgit, tell us a little bit about your program, the Freelance Empowerment Program, and where people can find you.
Yeah, the Freelance Empowerment Program is a program that I created this year. It's brand new, based on the long term experience as a consultant, but also with my clients. I found out that it's important that you have a program that guides you step by step through all the things that you need to consider, and that you have like a roadmap. So it starts with creating a strategy. It's an online course where you go step by step through the process of designing your ideal freelancing business. Comes with a workbook, and obviously also an evaluation call. So after the third module, you're gonna have a call with me to ensure that what you already started the first 3 days leads to the right direction, so that there's still chance to adjust and yeah, optimize. And yeah, after the 14 days you do have a strategy, and in the next step, we are going to optimize that. So based on all that, what you were working out on the online course with the workbook, we are going to dive deep and give it the last final optimization, that it's really that what you want, and that gives you the best chance to succeed. And yeah, if you are in the German market, we do have one more step. We do have the establishment. So what we were already talking about, all the paperwork and the bureaucracy. I try to make it fun. I cannot promise that it's going to be fun, but I will do my very best that it's not that annoying and not that headache. So we are setting out the business, we are doing the registration, but as I cannot know all the rules from all the countries, that's one stage that I can offer with good choice only in Germany. And the final stage, that is again for everybody, it's the scaling. So we are doing monthly mastermind sessions where we are working on our business. So you will be in a group, and it's always the same people. So we meet monthly, and we are doing in these mastermind sessions, yeah, different things. We are trying to work on the business. We are working on the problems that you have. You will get an accountability partner. You have somebody who backs you up, who also will ask you during the months, hey, how's it going? You told me you're gonna do that. You had an appointment. How was it? Tell me. I'm excited. So you will have a community of like-minded people. They are all in the same shoes than you. And that gives you the feeling that you're not alone, and also gives you the chance to find collaboration partners. So it's not just about having somebody who backs you up, that is really important, but also growing and building your own business network. And yeah, that's what we do. And how you can find that, you can find that on my website. It's freelancementor.me. And there you find everything about the program and about all the services that I do offer. In case you don't like this online course thing and you need more guidance, you need somebody who takes you on your hand and go walks you through that. I'm also happy to do that in direct consultation sessions.
Amazing. And of course, all the links will be, right here in the description of this episode. And if you're in Germany, you should definitely look for the experts that can help you do do this and get your freelance business
Yeah,
on.
and even if you are moving from another country to another country, we're talking on this podcast with women from all over the world. So no matter where you are, if you're thinking of opening a freelance business, or if you are already a freelancer and you want to improve your business and you want to make sure that it works in the new country that you're living in, I would definitely recommend you reaching out to Birgit. She knows what she's talking about and she will definitely be able to help you. So as Mayan said, all the links are in the caption of this podcast episode, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening on your favorite podcast platform. We're here for you.
We are. Yeah, definitely. As I said, I work with clients all over the world. So I'm not limited to the German market, but only one thing I don't want to offer in other countries. That's the registration part because I feel the responsibility and it's I do have a network, so you're not lost. We can find you somebody in another country that can help you with the registration process, but it's not going to be myself.
I really appreciate it, the honesty and
The expertise.
the expertise.
That's just that.
We can only help best where we know our field of expertise. So Birgit, I want to thank you again so much for all your tips and advice and all the knowledge you shared here with us. It was amazing and very valuable, and I hope the listeners took a lot of notes.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. Thank you for the invitation. I was really excited about that, and yeah, I hope that what I gave you on tips and advice is useful for your audience. And yeah, if you do have more questions, I'm so happy to back you up. Just let me know.
Thank you, Birgit, for being here with us today. And thank you for joining us on the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights, tips, and inspiration for your journey as an expat.
If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us via our website or social media. And if you love what you just heard today, please like, follow, and leave us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform.
Until next time, sending positive vibes your way.